Vivian Chilwana.
I'm Lubika Rawood. For more information on the work that we do and how you can help us to help others, please visit our website www.secondchances.org.za.
In Junior Achievement South Africa, its focus is really to expose youngsters within high school and out of school to entrepreneurial thinking, and ours is focused at high school from grade 10 to 12.
I'm very big on youth empowerment and making a difference and touching lives and impacting the lives of our young people. That's practically what I do with my foundation as well, and ever since I was crowned as Miss SA.
The goal of the magazine is to basically share information that will be able to assist small business owners.
You're listening to The Social Show with Vivian Chilwana
And Lubika Rawood, live on brandlive.co.za.
Good morning, everybody. Rise and shine. It is The Social Show with myself and Ulabika.
I think people have risen and shined at 6 o'clock already.
They've
but it's
risen
cool.
and shined. Okay. Well, English is not our mother tongue. Anyhow, Lubika with the news.
Okay, in our news today, putting a different spin on proceedings and raising awareness on a grand scale with the stated purpose of truly contributing significant funds to fight the war on poaching is The Rhinos Are Coming, which is a new exhibition that will be held in Cape Town. So the initiative that will culminate in a spectacular outdoor public art exhibition from mid-December 2017 until March 2018. Now, with 250,000 Rand already raised, the Great Rhino Roadshow will commence from March 2017. Now, 8 rhino buddies will, according to a statement they recently made, clamber aboard a nattily decorated carnival float with the purpose of making a media spectacle of themselves. And as it's all in the name of raising awareness and funds for the registered NPO StopRhinoPoaching.com, they will forgive them probably. Now, the mission now that they've chosen to accept it is to inspire businesses and concerned individuals to sponsor the initiative, including the making and painting of the main rhino crash herd of 100 brilliantly imagined life-sized rhinos who will stampede their way through the streets of Cape Town, charge up Table Mountain, and walk on a street corner to be loved and admired, or even greet visitors at the airport. So this will happen in Cape Town, and tickets are available at StopRhinoPoaching.com.
In other Cape Town news, the new District 6 Community Health Centre is expected to be completed in April 2017. Now, it is intended to replace and improve 2 long-standing Cape Town public clinics, the Robbie Newrock Community Day Centre as well as Woodstock Community Health Centre. Now, asked what would happen to the grounds in Woodstock after the centre relocates, Byron Laho, a spokesperson for the Provincial Department of Public Works, which currently owns the site, said, an application has been received from the City of Cape Town with the support of Western Cape Department of Human Settlements for the utilization of the site for housing, with the former nurse home section of the site earmarked for the accommodation of the head office of Cape Nature. Now, he also said that the City of Cape Town was doing a feasibility study, and the proposed development, which includes subsidies to build the units. Brent Heron Merrill, a committee and member of Transport and Urban Development, said social housing developments were planned for Salt River and Woodstock at 6 different locations. Now, the city will make announcements about specific sites and projects as the project planning matures.
A visionary partnership between Northern's Cricket Union, Currow Schools and the Multiply Titans has produced a pipeline structure for the holistic development of talented, previously disadvantaged teen cricket players in the Northern's area. Announced at Supersport Park ahead of the South Africa and Sri Lanka KFC T20 International, the program aims to support 30 bursaries per year, with 30 supplementary bursaries to be added each year with a value of 5 million Rand per annum. Now, the cricket program is made made possible thanks to the support of the Ruta Sechaba Foundation bursary scheme. And the foundation, run on a zero-cost basis, was established in 2016 to provide academic and other sport-related scholarships, bursaries and awards to qualifying learners at Karo and Karo-managed schools. Now, previously disadvantaged learners who qualify for a bursary will be kitted out with all necessary gear to help them excel in the development of their cricket skills. However, more important is the holistic approach of the project, since bursary holders will also receive independent education at Karo schools, and this guarantees the development of healthy academic prowess alongside cricketing abilities, with the bursary supporting annual school fees and levies, a tablet, transport for 9 months of the school year, plus stationery and textbooks.
3 university professors who have developed a revolutionary groundwater absorption treatment system hope their work will change the lives of millions of rural South Africans. The system, developed by Venda University professors Jabulani Gumbo and Wilson Gitari and Dr. Anthony Izuwagi, reduces fluoride levels in drinking water. Now, it took the trio 3 years of research to finalize the system. Gumbo said that this was one of his biggest achievements to date, and the next step is to try and get funding so that they can incorporate the system into every person's house in every community. And that wraps up the news for today.
Have you ever thought about the power of social media? Social media has the power to make your business grow. Yeah. Why don't you let us manage your social media? Because our business is to see your business grow. Visit us at www.bstownmedia.co.za.
Okay, and if you missed the news, you will find it on www.social-tv.co.za.
Yeah. And today we are actually really, really excited about what we can talk about. Because I think it's really not spoken about. It's really not in the media a lot. And our job is to put it out there so that you guys can get the relevant information, and you can start really engaging yourselves and your friends and the corporate people that you're chilling with right now about improving it. So 2016, Labika, I think, was a fairly okay year when it came to matters of disability and disabled persons. We saw a number of things happen that I think were really, really needed, like the SAB Innovation Awards, which I always love because it just celebrates new ideas and new thinking. What they did last year is that they collaborated with the same innovators to come up with something that could aid disabled children and disabled people in general. And the things people came up with were amazing, and the fact that they're going to be funding them, and you're going to find more kids with better tools, better systems to make them learn better, think better, play better, feel better. And I think that was one of the greatest things that happened last year in terms of disabilities. Also, I know the ICC was challenged to do more for disability cricket, which is going to be, the World Cup is going to be happening on 2019, there was a really big outcry from the disabled community to say, you guys need to really do more for us and invest a little bit more. And they know that, they said that it was, obviously it's going to happen over time. At least 2019 is 2 years away now. And they're going to help them as much as they could. But it was very important that their voices were heard, and that, the ICC doesn't take the World Cricket a disability cricket World Cup that's coming up lightly. So I think there were some good things that happened last year, and hopefully they're going to translate a little bit more and become better in 2017.
Definitely. But you know what? The sad thing is, as much as the government is slowly trying to, get more companies employ disabled people, a lot of companies still don't want to do that. And I read a recent survey now that was conducted by the charity MenCap. So this survey revealed that many employers remain uneasy about the role they expected to play in closing the gap where, you know, government wants more people working. And only 16% of UK employers felt confident that the disability employment gap would be halved. And the survey also revealed nervousness about customers and staff and how they might interact with people with learning disabilities, you know, which is basically a group who's still facing considerable exclusion, you know. And almost a quarter of the employees felt that their colleagues would not be happy working with someone with a learning disability. And 45% feared that it might be difficult for the public to deal with someone with a learning disability. And it's really sad. A lot of people think, oh, you know what, people aren't going to want to come into our store anymore when they met with someone, you know, who has a disability. And it's really, really sad. I feel like if you're afraid of how your employees will interact with the other disabled employees, then take them for training, you know. But it's really, yes, 2016 saw a lot of highs and lows, but I still feel like the disabled are still they're still fighting the fight of being included. One with the community and being included, you know. And there are a lot, you know, despite this, and this is the beautiful thing about it all, is despite being excluded and mocked sometimes and you know, obviously looked differently at in certain cases, there are still a lot of stories you read about disabled people that are you know, trying to, you know, push forward and that kind of thing. So I think it's really important that despite, you know, what they're going through with companies, you know, finding it difficult to get a job somewhere or making friends or whatever the case may be, a lot of disabled people are doing their own thing. And we're going to mention a few of them in the show today.
Yes, I think you completely agree with you. I think a lot of them are breaking a lot of barriers. And one such case is one that I just actually recently found out about, and that is because I am just an ignorant girl, really. So I don't know if you guys know of Shay Lee Null. She's a 10-year-old music sensation and aspiring model. So now Shay Lee was diagnosed, or rather told, that she had lost hearing in her one ear. I think it was her right ear. When she was only like 4 years old, and now she is 10 years old, and she is coming out with a new CD, new launch for her new album called Believe, on the 11th of February, which I think is so amazing when somebody has a hearing impairment and decides to sing. You know, music is so loud, it can damage, and a lot of doctors were saying to her that, you know, if you are around a lot of music, it may also hinder the other ears. So her other ear is also slightly affected, although she can hear a little bit. This is her left ear. And she decided to pursue a music career. And last year, I know she was scouted by Myers, which is a bursary fund for the New York's Film Academy. And she was told she would come. I think she's going in July this year to... she went last year, sorry. And she's going to July this year to launch her album as well in the States. So we are so proud of her. And she's got such a beautiful spirit. Nothing can get in her way. And she said that she really wants to inspire more kids who are or aren't disabled. It's not really about disability for her. It's about sharing the music, and her music is really empowering. You know, I know the next song that she's going to be releasing is called Strong, which already says a lot of things, you know, for a 10-year-old to sing like that. I haven't exactly heard her music yet, but I'm planning to do so after the show, and I can't wait. I wish we could have played it today, maybe just to hear how it sounds. But I'm so excited for her. And that's just one of the stories of a little girl who is partially, her entire right side, she cannot hear a thing. And her other, her left side, she has no surround. I think it's like some audio deficiency as well, but it's not as bad as the right ear. And here she is with a music career, with a CD, launching on February 11th. She's going to the New York's Film Academy soon. She's recognized in a lot of places in the world. And you're sitting at home right now and you're watching TV, fully abled, and you're doing nothing with your life. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying disabled people are, if anything, the most inspirational people that you'll find, because they go past the challenges that you would even think about, and then they surpass people who might consider themselves okay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm so happy for you, Shadley, and we cannot wait to attend the launch on the 11th of February.
And it's probably more difficult for them to actually go out there, and I'm sure she experienced a lot of challenges, going out there and saying, hey, I actually want to make my own music, so I think they face so much challenges on a daily basis that when they do it, it's just like, wow,
it's power.
It is really, and it's so inspirational.
Definitely.
And another guy that I know about, he was in the news recently. He goes by the name of Joseph. I don't know how to pronounce it. Matau. Matetau? Yeah. Well, he's South Africa's first blind barista.
Wow.
So if you don't know his name, I'm sure you've seen in the news, we'll recognize him by the first blind barista. And he was actually mocked for being blind when he was growing up. And he also struggled to accept himself. But however, the beautiful thing is he overcame his fear of the unknown to become South Africa's first blind barista. Now, I read an article that said, he remembered being able to see through only one eye as a child. And he was later diagnosed with a glaucoma. And obviously the progressive disease corroded the optic nerve in his better eye until he went totally blind in 2010. Now he's been living with blindness. And he said, in this article that it's been difficult. He's been mocked by teachers and peers. He was also still in school at the age of 24. He was actually still in school because he was struggling. And then an opportunity came through Kaleidoscope, which is an NPO for blind progression in South Africa. And they actually sought a blind candidate to train as a barista. So now he brews his coffee at Blindiana Barista, which is South Africa's first museum, and coffee shop. And according to him, it wasn't blindness, but anxiety about the unknown that hindered his growth before. And, with that, he overcame, a lot of obstacles, and he knows that it takes only 20 counts to pour a full cup of coffee. He plans to one day serve his own mother and sister from his very own coffee shop.
That's so beautiful.
It is really, really beautiful. And you know what, Viwe? It's so inspirational, as I've mentioned before, when you read stories like this, because we can see, we can touch, we can feel everything, and sometimes when we feel like we can't do something, we're just like, you know what, I'm giving up, I can't do this. But you get Shadley who can't really hear properly, but she sings. A guy who can't see, but now he's working at a coffee shop and he's a blind barista. So it's really inspirational, and it actually makes me want to get up and do something. Definitely. Because it shows you that nothing is really impossible if you put your mind to it.
Definitely.
Sometimes we think we can't do it, but there are people who can't even see, who can't speak, but they're doing it.
Exactly. And it just says, no matter what it is that you're going through physically, it should not stop you from conquering your dreams and really wanting to be, whatever it is you want to be. And I think the thing is, though, is that we need to have a society that allows for that to happen. We can't have 1 or 2 stories or 3 of people doing really great stuff, but we've got a whole nation, a whole community of disabled people who need a very a hospitable government, a hospitable community service upliftment program. They just need more people who want to hone that ability, whatever ability it is, whether it's singing, whether it's you want to be a weight lifter, or you want to be whatever it is that you want to be. We need the society to be inclusive, and that's why we're going to look a little bit more into what the government will be doing this year to really uplift disabled people, to really get them to reach their potential. And I think that's what we all want. Everybody wants to reach their potential. Everybody wants to be the best version of themselves, and it's very important that we we allow that process to happen, and we as the media, we make sure that we facilitate that process. Do you know what I mean? And so yeah, it's a very amazing story. I know there's another really cool story, international story actually, about this this movie. It's called Life Animated, right? And it just got the Oscar nod, so it's been nominated for an Oscar. And you probably would have never heard of it on normal media, because it's about this boy. It's basically a coming of age story about a boy with autism. Now, the crazy thing about the story is that Owen Suskind, who is autistic, stopped speaking at age 3, but learned that, but he learned how to communicate again through his love of Disney animated films. Now, using a video of Owen, an animation was based on his drawings and scenes from Disney classics, and the film tells the story of Owen's path to adulthood. So this is such a different story, because here's a boy who's autistic, and some autistic people just they don't know how to speak properly, like they just don't know how to communicate, and he found a way to communicate using the arts.
Wow.
Disney was inspirational to him in a way that made him want to say something, and he'd do this through drawings, and he would do this through a lot of different creative outlets. And I think this movie being done is just another example, although there's far and few in between, another example of taking onus of whatever it is you're going through, whatever it is you might have, and really making it a powerful statement, and letting the world know that even though this is what happened to me, I managed to come out of it and really tell a story that's going to inspire more autistic children and inspire more people with autistic children. So there's never really an end of the road. Do you know what I mean? There's never and I mean, I don't want to speak about Oscar Pistorius, but if you just think about his story, regardless of everything else that happened, I mean, an Olympic champion came out and came out of someone who was told, you'll never walk properly again. There's just so many beautiful stories that come out of will and just pure tenacity.
Definitely. Natalie Dutoy is actually one of them as well, and her story is also really, really great. But do you know when the movie's coming out in South Africa?
Not yet. I have no idea when it's coming out in South Africa, but I just know that it got the Oscar nod.
Okay,
but we'll find out.
Yeah, South Africa is always like slow with things.
Yeah.
So it will come out in America this year and in South Africa next year, who knows. But it's definitely a movie that I'd like to watch, actually. It sounds really beautiful. But a company that's really, really, lastly, just before we end off the show, I don't know, I'm not too sure about the other companies, but I know that ShopRite has training programs for disabled people.
Wow, yes.
So when you go to ShopRite, sometimes you'll see, you'll find quite a bit of deaf people working there. So they have T-shirts that says, "I am deaf, just bear with me." So you kind of know, because sometimes, obviously, because I remember the last time I was asking someone for directions in what aisle something is in, and he just showed me his T-shirt and I could understand. So I think that was really, really innovative.
I love that.
That was beautiful,
I love that.
So if more companies can do this, I think it would be great, because I don't remember anyone looking at people, at the disabled people in the store funny. We all understood because of their T-shirts. We were like, okay, so don't get angry if they can't speak to you, or whatever the case may be, So I think that is beautiful. And yes, the survey that I read early on in the show showed that a lot of companies are a bit skeptical, but they are you can train your staff members on how to interact with them, and there's just so much more you can do. So you being skeptical is not a good enough excuse.
Exactly.
And I think it's hard enough being disabled. Don't keep on shutting the door in their faces, really. And the beautiful thing is there are a few that are still, overcoming their fears and that kind of thing, but there are still those who don't even want to leave the house, So it's really sad. I don't know if it's going to be, if this will change in the next 5 or 10 years completely, but it has to. I mean, if you can do something like ShopRite is at least trying their bit, but if there are more companies like that, it will just be so much better for South Africa.
I completely agree. And that wraps up our show for today. If you have any questions or any queries, please do not be afraid to hit us up on our social mediums. That could be Twitter, that could be Instagram, or that could be social-tv.co.za. Wherever you feel comfortable, we'll meet you there. Also on brandlive.co.za. Don't be afraid to, just send us your stories, or if you know any really amazing disabled people that have inspired you, that are continuing to inspire. And if you are in fact disabled, it'll be great to hear your story and how you overcame it. Let's pay it forward. Let's make sure that the stories inspire more people. And that's it from us at Social TV. Bye.
The Social Show is the only show that gives you updated content on all things CSI.
The show will interrogate and report on the latest initiatives that are supported, developed, and initiated by the public and private sector.
Hosted by myself, Viwe Cholwana,
And me, Lebika Robert,
every week from 4 to 5 p.m. Hear it on brandlive.co.za.
See it on social-tv.co.za.
brandlive.co.za, harnessing the power of talk radio.